Now, the second reason I'm glad I waited is that learning your writing process is just as important as learning how to write. So, over the years, I've learned a lot about my writing process, and every writer's process is going to look different from another writer. No one is going to have the exact same way that they approach creating a book. And that is absolutely normal and okay. But what that also means is that it takes time to figure out what works best for you, what's going to streamline your writing, and what's going to give you the best product in the shortest amount of time, which is important when you are trying to sell and make money on books. Because unfortunately, as much as some of us would just love to create, we do have to pay the bills. So, why is knowing your writing process important before you publish? There's a couple good reasons. One, if you go trad publishing, so like I said, some people get published on their first book, but it took them about a decade typically to write that first book to a state that was publishable. And the thing is, once their book is out there, now they have fans and they have agents, they have publishing companies that are wanting the next book because your publishing company wants an author that's going to produce more work. Because if you get a good reputation and you get a good following, it's going to be easier to sell your future books. But they're not going to wait a decade between each book. So you need to know how to write quickly, and if you've only written one book that took you about a decade to write, you're going to find yourself very stressed out trying to get the next book out. And this has happened to many authors who got big on the very first book they wrote. Now, as an indie publisher, you won't have a publishing company or a literary agent asking for the next book, but hopefully you did a good job with the first book and you have fans who want the next one. I read a book that I really liked, and it was supposed to be the first in a series. And the book was supposed to have come out this spring, and the authors disappeared. I wish I knew what happened. I would have liked the next book. But as an indie author, even if you're still working on the next book and you haven't disappeared off the face of this planet, your fans don't want to wait a decade between books. They want them at least within a year, is kind of the standard, or two. So, taking the time to learn your process before you publish will help you create work faster. It'll take pressure off of you once you actually have hit publish, and it will keep you from getting paralyzed by deadlines.